Tonight on This Week in Pro Football, it's a rematch of the Eagles' diciest playoff win en route to winning last year's Super Bowl. Sal Paolantonio and Greg Beacham from the Associated Press will break down all facets of this matchup of 2-0 teams. Sal Paolantonio and the Eagles' passing game, too. Is it ready when called upon after two pretty light weeks? Bill Reinhard from FantasyGuru.com, Justin Mark from the Sports Gambling Podcast have all of your starts, sits, props, and picks for this week. And we'll throw out a little softball trivia question there for you guys to answer like you did last week for This Week of Pro Football t-shirt, and lots more to talk about on a Week 3 edition of This Week in Pro Football.
It's time for This Week in Pro Football, a deep dive into the key issues and marquee matchups in the National Football League. For the next 60 minutes, we invite you to sit back or lean in with host Pat Callahan as we preview the week's Eagles matchup, big games, breaking stories, and all news NFL. It's This Week in Pro Football, right now on JAKIB Media Sports.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Pat Callahan back for Week 3 of This Week in Pro Football, streaming here on JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. Available all week, but thank you very much for joining me here as we premiere the show and take a first look in a sober and meaningful way at all the Week 3 games. Decent slate of games this week. We'll go through all of them. The great Sal Powell will be with me in just a few minutes, and we'll get some Week 2 observations from Sal. Remember, he was in the booth for Steelers and Seahawks, and find out where Sal's going to be this week, as he probably in Philadelphia, I'd suspect. As this is a big game. This is a big game. I know it's a big game to the Rams. Believe me, this is a game. I think this is the team the Rams point to when it comes to the compass that is the NFC. This is the team they think they got to measure up against, and why not? It should be, quite frankly. A lot of talk about the Green Bay Packers, but the Eagles are right now, in my opinion, they're still the marker. Okay. Some other chalk from Week 2. The Eagles beat the Chiefs. Sal said they were going to beat the Chiefs. I said they're going to beat the Chiefs. The Eagles beat the Chiefs because they are better than the Chiefs. That's all. And I think you could fill in that blank. Maybe every team the Eagles play this year, it'll be close. Now, the Eagles have a tough schedule. We talked about that already. But the Eagles went into Kansas City, I believe, just knowing they were the better team, and they weren't going to fall for any nonsense or hysterics or showmanship of any kind. They just went out and won the game. That's all. And the Chiefs hollering about a couple calls here and there. You could do that every game, every week, every season. But Eagles defeat Kansas City, are now at 2-0 back home to Philadelphia this week to face, as I said, the 2-0 Rams. Xander, can you bring the standings up here a minute? Let me get that out of the way before we bring Sal on. Here's the Week 2 standings now. Really a first look at meaningful standings. And I, of course, don't hesitate to point out the New York teams are 0-4 combined. That's like saying, the sun will be up in the east tomorrow and it'll probably set in the west. New York football is just terrible. I mean, the Giants will find a way to lose. I don't care who they're playing. Yes, that was an exciting game last week, but what a crazy game. What a crazy game between two bad teams. But wait till you see the ratings on it. But New York teams are both 0-2. That's not a shocker of any kind. Lions in the NFC North get back to 1-1 anyway. They rout the Bears. Everybody saw that coming. And Coach Ben Johnson was not too happy about it, I think, at the end of the game. But Green Bay 2-0. 10 teams are 2-0. Green Bay 2-0, looking very good. And Tampa Bay looking very good, but I don't know if they're going to last the season. That was a rough game against against Houston Monday night. And if Baker Mayfield's going to get beat up like that, that's going to be trouble for Tampa Bay. And then you have three teams in the NFC West are 2-0. The NFC West is not a combined 7-1. So that will start to filter a little bit as those teams get into certainly into divisional schedules. But Arizona beat two teams from the NFC South, and San Francisco beating Seattle, and also the Rams at 2-0, beating two teams from the AFC South. So not much there. But Kansas City 0-2 for the first time in 10 years. The Chefs are 0-2. Chargers 2-0. Big deal. They beat the Raiders. The Raiders are so overblown. Every year they're overblown. How about those Indianapolis Colts and Danny Dimes at 2-0? That is impressive. That's impressive. And it'll be an interesting watch all season long to see if, in fact, Daniel Jones can keep that going and forever erase the New York stigma from his resume. It'll be very interesting to see. Because he sure looks good right now and very good from a fantasy perspective. I just picked him up. So thanks a lot, Xander. Okay, that's the standings right there. Of course, some other things have gone seriously wrong, and for that, you can only bring in one guy to fix it when something is way wrong. All right, and that would be this guy. That would be the host of the NFL Matchup Show for the last 21 years, and my long time colleague here on This Week in Pro Football, Sal Paolantonio. Good evening, Sal.
Pat, great to be back with you on This Week in Pro Football. Great to see you. Week 3, here we go. We got the game of the week here in Philadelphia. South Philadelphia, a little rumble in the jungle. Yeah. It'll be a little different weather-wise. The last time the Rams came in here.
That's true.
Saquon Barkley slapping the side of his head, running through the snow, dancing through the snow all the way to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be in the high 70s on Sunday. A lot. It's going to be California surfer boy weather for the Rams when they come in here, Pat.
Well, I want to get to that now because I have a certain rooting interest, and you well know. But I think the Eagles better keep their eyes open here. I think this is the Rams are a team that looks right at the Eagles as far as getting to a Super Bowl. Do you agree with that?
No question about it. Yeah. Listen, the Rams will be a real challenge for the Eagles. The Rams can throw the football and they can score points. Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, and now his running mate there, Devontae Adams, Higbee at the tight end position. The big question is, can they protect Matthew Stafford against the Eagles' pass rush? They couldn't do it down the stretch in the divisional round. That was the difference between winning 29-28 and losing 28-22 is Jalen Carter blew up the middle of that offensive line when they had 1st and 10 with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go.
Yep. That's fair enough. Sal, we'll get into this game in some great detail, but I always have to pick your brain for a couple of the prior week's observations. Just as I said at the open of the show, the Eagles are just superior to the Chiefs. Tell me what you think of the Chiefs right now. They sit at 0-2. Any panic button now worth hitting that they're 2 games out of first place already, or will that the division right itself?
Well, it's a get-right game this week because they have the Giants at MetLife Stadium. The Giants have no identity offensively or defensively, and the Chiefs are just a better team and better coach. But the Chiefs are not better than the Eagles in any respect. The Chiefs don't make plays. Their quarterback misses wide-open receivers. They don't have any kind of chemistry in their passing game. Their quarterback is their number 1 running back. And Patrick Mahomes, last time I looked, is not Bobby Douglas. He's not Donovan McNabb. He's not Michael Vick. And he's certainly not Jalen Hurts. You don't want Patrick Mahomes being your number 1 running back. This is the old bugaboo of Andy Reid, is that he doesn't have enough wide receivers and running backs. Now, of course, this is the end of the dynasty. Here it is. We're looking at it. And we're looking at the new dynasty. If the Philadelphia Eagles can stay intact, that's where we are. We're at an inflection point, a pivot point in the National Football League. The Chiefs are done. They were done when Travis Kelce dropped that ball at the goal line. That was a telltale signal. That was the look at the edge of the empire right there.
That's great. Well put, Sal. Well put indeed. A look at the edge of the empire, because you're right. I don't think Kansas City has any playmakers anymore. They have 15, but I think that you're right. The baton has been handed out. Sal, I love the notes Sal sends me. All week long I get these fascinating notes. And I mean, today Fox announced today, this is per Sal, 34 million viewers watched Sunday's Eagles-Chiefs game, which was the most watched regular season. They're Fox's best audience ever for a regular season Sunday game. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
34 million. Let me put that into context for you. In 1964, February 9th, 1964, when the Beatles were on the Ed Sullivan Show, 60 million people watched at a time when you only had one TV in the house and 3 channels.
Right. That's right.
So 34 million people watching that game when people have so many more options and an infinite number of options in terms of entertainment and things to do is an astounding number.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it in terms of inflation, 34 million is like 150 million in 1964.
Right.
That is the percentage of the population.
Yeah.
So it really, and that doesn't account for people in bars.
Oh, sure, you're right. People watch parties or whatever. Exactly.
Yeah, in parties. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine how big this game was when you take all of that together, Pat, and you just look at it, and now, so people have this snapshot of what the Eagles are. The Eagles are a better team, but in the aftermath of that, the explanation or justification for the Chiefs' loss was that a play that should have been banned in March at the owners' meetings is the reason why the Eagles dynasty is being reborn here.
Yeah.
It's silly, really.
Yeah. That's funny, though. That's great. We'll finish this part with one thing. Sal sent me my fabulous NFL record and fact book here. Part of his book, in 2024, Sal, 46 of the most watched 50 TV programs in 2024 were either NFL games or NFL pre-games. I mean, it's just crazy. The league rules the world. That's all there is to it, Sal. That's why you're sitting here and I'm sitting here right now. But all right, listen, we get back here on This Week in Pro Football. Sal's going to stay with me, and we're going to turn our attention to what Sal said, and I agree, is, I think, the marquee game of the week. I have no idea why it's on at 1 o'clock. I mean, it's not bad, but you'd think you'd find some slot for that game. But we'll get into it. We'll take a deeper dive here and go and take a look around the NFL here with Sal Pao on This Week in Pro Football, presented by Kennedy Ford.
Welcome back. We've got another exciting play underway at KennedyAuto.com.
That's right. At KennedyAuto.com, you can browse their entire inventory from home.
The customer is scrolling hundreds of Ford, Mazda, and Subaru vehicles right at his fingertips.
He made his selection and got a bottom line price set directly to his email. He could go all the way.
And the deal is good, all without leaving his couch. Incredible. KennedyAuto.com. Enjoy your ride.
Discover the essence of true community banking with First Bank, your trusted partner across Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Their network of branches brings you convenient access to dedicated personal bankers who understand your unique needs. At First Bank, you're not just a customer, you're a valued member of the community. Additionally, they are excited to announce the opening of 2 new branches in Media, Pennsylvania and Trenton, New Jersey, bringing their personalized banking services even closer to you. Connect with any member of the team today at their Westchester office, conveniently located at 849 Paoli Pike, or call them at 484-881-3800. First Bank is an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
Johnny Apple's restaurant and bar opened in 2001 and for over 20 years has been serving great food and good times to Bucks County residents, friends, and family. Ideally located at 184 Buck Road in Holland, Johnny Apple's offers a terrific array of steaks, seafood, and daily specials. They also host private parties and affairs of any size. For excellent food, great company, and a relaxed lunch or dinner, check out Johnny Apple's restaurant at 215-953-9900 or at johnnyapplesrestaurant.com.
All right, welcome back to This Week in Pro Football. Pat Callahan here with the excellent Sal Paolantonio, the host of the NFL Matchup Show. and of course, one of the newest members of the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. All right, Sal, let me throw this one out at you here now as we take a look at this Eagles game against the Rams. The Eagles passing game has not been called upon so far this year. Now they're 2-0. They can't go 3-0 in 2 weeks. So they haven't needed a passing game. So what's your take there? Do you think the Eagles passing game is ready to go once it's called upon?
Not yet. I have to see it in action. This is a good week for the Eagles passing game. I think they match up well against the Rams defense in a number of areas. Bottom line is the Rams had a very, very difficult time containing Saquon Barkley and the Eagles rushing attack in the divisional round of the playoffs. And I think in this game, unlike the last game, I think the Eagles will try to establish some kind of passing game that opens up Saquon Barkley in this football game. So, their defensive coordinator does not like to blitz that much. And they will probably try to disrupt Jalen Hurts. Now, with Dallas Goedert status uncertain for the game, that's a big piece to the puzzle. I'm not trying to make excuses or justification. It is just a fact. He's a very underrated pass-catching tight end who was an extraordinary blocker. So missing him is a big piece. Grant Calcaterra can catch the ball, but he's not a good blocker. Not compared when you compare it to Dallas Goedert. Good blocker, but Dallas is just so much better. So they got to have him on the field, in my opinion. He's important in order to get this thing really revved up. But, Pat, it's very vanilla right now, and they need to loosen it up. Far be it for me to tell Kevin Patullo what to do, but it's pretty obvious what worked for Kellen Moore last year was the motion and the ability for these wide receivers to get a free release off the line of scrimmage.
Right.
It's a static passing game. Anybody sees that can see it. Anybody who watches it can see it. It's a static passing game. And so it's incumbent upon Patullo and Sirianni to be much more creative in the usage of their top two pass catchers and Johan Dotson, who's proven to be a pretty reliable target for Jalen Hurts. And this is the game to do that. You catch the Rams on back-to-back road trips. Their body clocks say it's 10 a.m. West Coast time when they suit up, line up, and play. Their body clocks are a lot different than when they are playing on the West Coast in those late games. Right. So this is the game where they can get it going.
Sal, A.J. Brown is a big, tough. He's a physical receiver. He's not a speedster. And I think he's better at those contested catches where he is simply going to muscle out the defender. Now, if the Eagles see a lot of zone, does that diminish him as a target for Jalen Hurts?
I don't think so.
No.
He's very good at working underneath the zone. Those crossing routes, he has killed teams that have been mostly zone defenses. I think they just got to keep throwing him the football. Okay. A lot of crossing routes, a lot of rub routes. Get him in situations where he gets free releases off the line of scrimmage, and then just throw him the ball because he will win. Like you said, big, strong wide receiver. He will win.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's something, though, to see that much talent between him, of course, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts. But my take, Sal, is that they just haven't been called upon to do it. The Eagles seem constantly to get themselves in 3rd and 1. You know what I mean? And if they're that successful 1st and 2nd down, where it's 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5, and so they never really have to test it. But I believe, like you just said, I think you're going to see it Sunday because Sirianni's going to want to see it. So I think they will start to go
well
deep
against the Rams, particularly in this game. And getting back to the tush push, Pat, and I know this is something you wanted to explore a little bit more. So the Eagles with tush push, since they really started using it in 2022, have scored 34 touchdowns just on that play alone.
Yeah.
34 times 7 is 238 points. The Giants last year, as a team, scored 273 points. Pat, this has been such a productive, potent play for them, such an effective play that I think people are dreaming if they think they're going to talk the Eagles out of using this, because it's so powerful and it's demoralizing when you know you're down at the goal line and you have no shot to stop it. It takes your heart and mind out of the game.
Yeah, it certainly does. And of course, he's such a weapon. Barkley is such a weapon. How do you change your game plan to not give him the ball? I mean, that seems so counterintuitive, but the Eagles said they got a lot to work with. Now, here's what they have to work against.
All the purists out there who want to ban the play, when Teddy Roosevelt forced pro football to use the forward pass when he had to reform the game in 1912, they said the same thing about the forward pass, that it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It wasn't the real game. You can't use aesthetics as an argument to ban something. You just can't do that. It's like,
I agree, Sal. Stop it. That's all. You want to end it? Stop it. That's all. It'll go away all by itself. But as long as they can't stop the Eagles from doing it, it's going to be here. All right, Sal, you got one major difference in the Rams team that came here last January and the one that's coming here this weekend. And that is that Cooper Kupp has been shipped out and Devontae Adams has been brought in.
Yeah.
And I think that is a plus move for the Rams. I think Adams still has more in that tank. He's a bigger receiver. And
that's a maybe, Pat. That's a maybe. I don't know. I saw Cooper Kupp operate last week.
Right.
With Seattle, had a big game, helped them beat Pittsburgh at home. You get Cooper Kupp the football, you get him in those option routes. A, he is just as good as Julian Edelman. First of all, getting open. B, he catches the football all of the time.
Right.
So, and there's no complaining or anything with Cooper Kupp. He just lines up and plays football.
Oh, no, you're certainly right. And he has his whole career. The problem is he's no longer been able to do it 13 or 14 times a year. And I think
we'll see how Devontae Adams works out in December and January, where, he has to go on the road and play in the cold weather. He did that obviously in Green Bay, but it's, listen, what you see Matthew Stafford doing right now, it's evened up. Nakua's got 20 targets. Adams has 21. And I think I said to you on your radio show during the summer that Adams had the potential to be this year's Saquon Barkley. In other words, that one offensive player who changed teams, who created a championship level performance enough to get over the hump. Now, of course, that commentary has been superseded by the Micah Parsons trade to Green Bay.
Right.
He's really the Saquon Barkley of 2020, has the potential to be if used properly. But the difference is Micah Parsons not on offense and Adams is, and I think Adams could be the missing piece in many, many ways for Matthew Stafford. But we're in week 3, and you're playing an Eagles defense that still hasn't figured out who the starting left corner is. They got a great game from Andrew Makuba last week at the safety position. There's certain guys. It's amazing to me, Pat. It's one of the oldest cliches in the books. There are certain guys that are around the football, have a nose for the football, happen to be always where the football is. When you see Makuba at Texas last year, that was certainly true. And then the one moment when a guy going to the Hall of Fame and Travis Kelce gags up the football at the goal line, it lands in whose lap? Andrew Makuba. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time. This must have been the reason why Howie Roseman, Vic Fangio, and Nick Sirianni fell in love with this guy and drafted him so high.
All right. He could be the name. The Rams, too, lost their starting quarterback to a broken clavicle. So they they're coming in with a kid, played for was drafted by the Commanders a few years back, number 1 draft pick. So I think it'll be a good game, Sal. But I just don't see the Eagles losing. I don't think the Rams are a top tier team yet to beat the Eagles at home. And I see this as like a 27-20 type game. How do you see it?
Well, that would mirror what happened last year,
right?
28-22. So you're right in that ballpark. But here's the thing, Pat. I'm not going to pick against the Eagles again until they lose a game. So Jalen Hurts has now won. The Eagles have now won 16 straight games that Jalen Hurts has started and finished. Just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
How hard that is.
Yeah.
In the NFL, in the modern NFL, where we're in a one-score league, the highest number of outcomes in an NFL season last year was 1 score or less in the history of the league. And right now, the league is on a pace to break that record of 1-score games. We're in a 1-score league, and if you can win 16 straight with the same quarterback and head coach,
no, I know.
I mean, it's one of those things. You got to show me you can beat these guys.
I know.
Say you can beat these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like an old neighborhood thing. Show me you can do it before I'm going to say you can do it.
Well, so do you have a home game this weekend, Sal? Or are you in the radio booth somewhere?
Pat, I wouldn't miss this one. This is the game of the week. We got TB12 in the house on Fox, 1:00 game, Pat. Come on, this is a good one. I'm not going anywhere. I'm on the Eagles the next 4 weeks. Rams, going to Tampa, Bucks game, coming back, Broncos, Thursday night football against the Giants. Next 4 weeks, I'm with the undefeated Super Bowl champs.
3 of those pretty good games. Then you get a preseason game in there too. So that's not bad, Sal. You can work on your tan there a little bit. But all right, that's great. That's great.
Hey, Pat, I'm always working on my tan. I'm always working on my tan.
I need it. All right, Sal. Thanks a lot for taking all the time. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the input, and always look forward to seeing you again next week. All right.
All right, Pat.
All right. The great Sal Paolantonio joining me there for another good segment there on this week's Eagle game. He likes the Eagles, obviously, and how can you not like them? That's what I'm saying. It's I mean, I think the Rams are going to give them a decent game, but I think the Eagles are like, all right, you want to play harder? We'll play harder, and we'll beat you. But we'll see. I guess one of these times I'm going to be wrong. I see there's a Niners fan in the chat. Boy, oh boy. There's just always one. There's always a Niners fan somewhere. All right, we'll deal with that. But we're also going to deal when we get back with Bill Reinhard from Fantasy Guru. Bill's going to join us. We're going to talk starts and sits and some disastrous Week 2 quarterbacking. That's all next on This Week in Pro Football. All right, presented by Concrete Cutting.
What on earth are you doing? We have dinner reservations in 15 minutes.
I'm trying to figure out who to start in my fantasy football lineup. Every website I check has a different opinion. It's driving me crazy. How do you set your lineup so fast?
I have a secret weapon that will blow your mind.
Wow. What's the secret?
I've been using FantasyGuru.com for all of my fantasy football decisions.
FantasyGuru.com? Isn't that with that crazy guy, Jeff Mans?
You mean the legendary fantasy guru, Jeff Mans? He's a genius. FantasyGuru.com has everything you need to dominate your league. Starts, sits, busts. It's like having a fantasy football expert panel in your corner.
Wow, FantasyGuru.com. But I feel like you're cheating on me.
How do you think I won our league last year? FantasyGuru.com. It'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Join FantasyGuru.com today. Use the code NEW30 for 30% off instant savings.
Evolution Energy Partners has helped hundreds of businesses save millions of dollars on their energy spend. They offer electricity and gas procurement strategies, efficiency audits and engineering and financing solutions, as well as online utility bill management. To learn how your business can save, visit www.evolutionep.com or contact Chuck Herschella at 610-329-8288. Evolution Energy Partners, energy solutions to improve your bottom line.
At Whistler Pearlstein LLP, we assemble the most effective team to handle all of your legal needs. There are players and pretenders, but our hustle and heart set us apart. In practice now for over 75 years, we're proud to be one of the most prominent full-service law firms in the Philadelphia region. We offer 17 different areas of practice, including business, corporate, and tax education law, real estate, zoning, and land development, municipal law, and litigation. Our top-rated attorneys and staff are laser-focused on client success. We strive to provide outstanding legal counsel with the highest level of care and consideration. Let us show you the Whistler way. Learn more at WhistlerPearlstein.com or email Michael J. O'Donohue at mod@whistpearl.com. WhistlerPearlstein.com or mod@whistpearl.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to This Week in Pro Football. I see a couple of people on the chat have asked if I'm doing well. I appreciate that very much. The answer is I'm doing better. I'm fighting something ferocious here, but I'm about halfway through it, and I hope I can pull this off. So thank you very much for your thoughts on that. Okay. All right, let's roll on here. Let's bring on this guy here from fantasyguru.com and the New York Daily News, one of the best fantasy football, and that would be Bill Reinhard. Bill, how you doing?
I'm well, Pat. How you doing?
All right, pal. What is it? Is it already 10 degrees up there in Buffalo? Look at you. You got the giant.
I'm just, trying to feel at home here. Flying the colors. It's okay.
All right. I guess that first lake effect storm is on its way, I guess, at some point.
Pat, I'm in Jersey. I'm just a Bills fan.
Oh, that's right. You're just a Bills fan. That's right. Well, it's still coming, Bill. I don't care whether you're there or not.
That's true.
But the Bills Thursday nighter against Miami. I'm sure the Dolphins have already checked out of that game.
Yeah. I think it'll be Mike McDaniel's last game is my prediction. Yeah. I see them getting their butts kicked, and he's lost the team. I said it last week. So if they're going to continue this charade, let them. But I don't see. I think it's going to be pretty ugly.
Yeah, I think it is ugly. Bill. And it's they rallied a little bit against New England after a no-show against the Colts, but. And then, of course, we're going to see Josh Allen 6 run, Allen 12 run, field goal, Allen 48.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know there's not. No, but what's going to happen is when it's 38-3 midway through the third quarter, and he insists on taking off on another run, and somebody barrels into him and something terrible happens, then everybody be like, geez, isn't that a shame? Well, yeah, it is a shame. Maybe you shouldn't have let him do it.
I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I lost sound. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Bill. You're not hearing me right now?
Oh, there you go. Now I can. Yeah. I don't know if that was you or me. Well, at least they took Josh out of the game last week in the beginning of the fourth quarter. They put in Trubisky. So they're playing a little more smart with him.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, some terrible quarterback injuries last week, Bill.
Yes.
Of course, you'll never guess who I picked in the second round, Joe Burrow. I violated one of my precepts for the last 10 years is don't pick a quarterback until the 6th or 7th round because, you still had, Baker Mayfield is there and the kid at Denver is going to be there.
Right.
And they're probably going to throw 3 a week. So why did I do it? But
because Burrow threw over 40 touchdowns last year. They don't run the ball well, and they throw like crazy. And they have Chase and Higgins. I don't think it was a bad move at all. It's just bad luck.
Yeah. Real bad. I mean, if I last night did something I never thought I'd do in a fantasy career, I cut Joe Burrow and picked up Daniel Jones.
Whoa!
I mean, that is unbelievable. Really?
Hey, he's the top 10 quarterback in fantasy football right now. So, hey, you got to steal.
I got to feel. Yeah, I got to feel. I got to feel. Colts put up 3 points in a stunning loss. Well, look, speaking of those injuries now, and the ones that I think are most dramatic, obviously, Burrow.
Right.
And then, well, Jaden Daniels, is he likely to miss this week?
They say he's probably going to sit this one out. Yeah. So, it's going to hurt your Debo Samuels and your Terry McLaurin's a little bit. So,
and then between those two teams, Bill, and I don't know about, say, Justin Jefferson, who are you dropping? Who in your rankings is dropping the most among receivers and tight ends?
All right. So, I'm not moving Chase down at all. Browning's a good quarterback in Cincinnati. He came off the bench and threw for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm not worried about Chase. I'm not worried about Higgins. That passing game will go on. That is how the Cincinnati Bengals play. Conversely, you bring in Carson Wentz, who hasn't played since 2022 for the Vikings. I don't know how you can feel good about Jefferson. It's funny. They go through preseason, right? They have all through July. They go through all their preseason games with backup quarterbacks. And then when their starter goes down, when McCarthy goes down, they go get some guy that's been on the couch for a year instead of, the guys that have been in the classroom with them for the entire summer. So I don't know. I have no idea what Carson Wentz is going to do. O'Connell's a good coach. He got a lot out of Mullins a few years ago. If you can get something out of Mullins, we'll see what he can get out of Carson Wentz. So Jefferson definitely slides down. And then there's no one else in the Vikings you can trust, even if McCarthy was playing. Hey, look, McCarthy, he's only thrown for 160 yards.
No, you can't trust McCarthy. McCarthy is, and so far the jury's halfway in from the jury on McCarthy. So the Vikings got a real problem there. They really do. And they're not going to be able to compete at all in that division if he doesn't make a quick turn. Here's a great comment. Mr. Rise, one of my chat guys, Bill, he's talking about the Bengals. He says, America is one of the most obese countries on earth, and the Bengals can't find 5 to block for Joe Burrow. That is absolutely well
brilliant.
Done. Well done.
I'm going to put that in the paper next week. I love that. I'm going to
just find 5 350-pound guys, tape them all to each other, and just snap them off.
Let them hold hands. Everyone hold hands. No one gets by.
All right, Bill. In the same tag as moving down in your rankings, and this doesn't have to be tied to quarterback injuries, though, but are there anybody that you're eyeing the sell high button on, like a guy who's on a team that hasn't lost its quarterback necessarily or anything, but you're just looking at him saying, you know what, now I might be the week I can get the most for Brock Bowers or Nico Collins, somebody like that.
It's funny you say Nico because he was right top of mind when you said that because, Stroud is struggling, which is hard to say, but I watched that game the other night. He was inaccurate. And there's no one on the other side. Now, Kirk might come back for the Texans, but I don't even know if that's going to help their passing game. In the last 10 games, Collins has scored 15 points or less every game but one. He had one good game, 28 points. He's not like number one receiver. He's not your Lamb or your Chase that's going to get those 30 points. Your Amon-Ra St. Brown's get 40 points last week. But he was drafted like a first-round pick, and it's infuriating because the production isn't there. Now, if you put him on another team or a better system, okay. But if you can sell a Nico Collins now and you can get yourself a Travis Etienne or a Breece Hall or something like that, I'd do it in a skinny minute.
All right. Talking with the great Bill Reinhard here from FantasyGuru.com. And check out, Bill has a weekly column called 10 Things I Think. Yeah. And always a fun read with Bill. So please check that out on Fantasy Guru. Is that also in the Daily News, Bill?
No, it's not in the news. The Daily News only gets so much space in the Daily News. So it's my starts and sits are in the Daily News, and then everything else goes into Guru, which is a ton of fun.
And Bill's always a great read. So please check out Bill Reinhard at NFL Fantasy. Bill,
thank you.
All right, Bill. How about this week here? I'm not desperate. I did okay last week, and I'm hanging in there in the middle of the pack. James Cook, thank God. Thank God. He must have physically threatened Josh Allen at first down. He must have said they had the ball at the 1 yard line. He said, "You're giving me that ball, Josh."
And they did.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But So how about a couple starts and maybe a couple sits for guys that you're looking at this week?
Sure. So I'm very high on Roma Dunze. He had 3 touchdowns all of last year, which is why I didn't draft him myself this year. He's got 3 in the first 2 games. So third time's a charm. He's going to go for the hat trick this week against the Cowboys. How many touchdowns do you think the Cowboys have given up this year? 3. So I see a real progression of numbers here. So I really like Roma Dunze this weekend. Another guy, and I hate to admit it because I avoided him like the plague, is Juwan Johnson. Out of nowhere, from the outhouse to the penthouse, he has been unbelievable. He's the number 2 tight end in fantasy. He's going against Seattle. Seattle cannot cover the tight end. So if he's still on somebody's waiver wire, I'd run out right now and get Juwan Johnson and enjoy yourself a nice little game against Seattle.
All right.
Couple of sits, and this is everybody's problem, but the Seahawk running game with Charbonnet and Walker. Of course, I started Walker the first week. Charbonnet had the game. Last week I started Charbonnet. Walker had the game. I'm done. I quit. Neither one of them. They're both on my bench till I can get some kind of clear information on who is the lead dog there. So you can't do it. You cannot start either one of those guys.
It's brutal. And
it's brutal.
I tell you, a Tampa Bay running back,
Bucky
Irving, boy, he was outstanding. Some of the tackling by Houston was a disgrace, but he was outstanding. And
he was a little dynamo.
See him standing on the sideline when they sent that kid in to score that touchdown at the end of the game?
Yeah,
Bucky Irving was ready to go off. I mean, he was. It's funny how it's not just the fantasy idiots like you and me, right?
Right.
I mean,
he's not my team.
furious.
I was just as bad as Bucky. Bucky's not my team. So, oh man.
The running backs by committee thing, it's the worst. It's the worst, and but there's nothing you can do about it, like what you're doing.
You just sit there.
Always tough in that regard.
2 more quick sits if you like.
Fire away.
Wicks from Green Bay, Dontavian Wicks. He's always been the replacement when someone goes down. When Reed goes down or Watson, he always comes in and he gives you a good three catches for 18 yards. So there's a great pickup. Everyone's picking this guy up. Oh, he's the next. They don't throw the ball in Green Bay anyway. So I do stay away from Wicks. My other guy is Evan Ingram, who I thought Sean Payton would make the next, Graham at tight ends. And he's not even on the field half the time. They got Adam Troutman out there in front of him getting 60% of the snaps. Ingram might have had a calf issue, but he's not their number 1 tight end. So there's a wasted probably 5th or 6th round draft pick by a lot of people with Evan Ingram at tight end.
All right. You mentioned about Roma Dunze and that Bears-Cowboys game. Do you know that is Fox's game of the week? How does that work, Bill?
Because they're popular. They don't care about the record. People love the Cowboys. They still love them, either love to hate them or they love to love them. And, the Bears with Caleb Williams, I mean,
I've seen enough of the Bears already, Bill. Seen enough of them.
I know.
And they're just a team that does not know how to win. That's all. They don't know.
Well, they keep proving it. So
that's right. Yeah, just in case you weren't sure, they'll show you.
Here they are again. Yeah, let me show you how we don't win. So
it's crazy.
It's history. It's nostalgic. Cowboys, Bears. It's kind of fun. Ditka played for both teams. Let's harken back to the golden age of football.
And I know you probably have a few New York Giants lined up. You want to get in the lineup Sunday night. The Sunday nighter, Kansas City 0-2 against the 0-2 Giants.
Man.
You mentioned about how this could be it for the Miami coach. Brian Daboll has got to be a little careful. Now, the Giants don't do stuff, off the top of their head. They don't fire that quickly. But the prevailing money was that Daboll was going to go last year. And he's got to be in some difficulty now.
Yeah, but I mean, they played a heck of a game. I mean, everyone thought it would be a Cowboy win 36-10, but they played a great game, 40-40. I mean, look, the kid kicking 60-yard field goals.
I know.
It's not fair. It's really, and with 25 seconds left both times, I think. So Daboll gets look, I am no fan of Daboll, but he gets a pass. They showed up, they played hard, and let's see what they can do against Kansas City.
That's fair enough. Really, it's fair enough.
They have no running game.
Yeah.
And they have no receivings. They're all hurt right now, so we're suspended.
All right, Bill Reinhard, where does everybody find you between Fantasy Guru, the Daily News, when and where do they pick up these kind of nuggets here from
So Fantasy Guru, I'm in every week. You should absolutely subscribe. It's one of the best fantasy sites you can get. Start, sits. Jeff Mans gives you things that, he watches every game and tells you the games that you don't see, the plays you don't see in the stats, like an 80-yard touchdown that was brought back for a penalty, things like that. So it's definitely worth it. I'm in there every Thursday. I'm in the Daily News every Thursday with my starts and sits. And then I'm always tweeting on NFL Fantasy Bill. So you got a full slate there. And my column, my column on Guru this week is about if you lose your starting quarterback, you're not making the playoffs. All the way back from, I got Theismann in 85, Culpepper in 2005, Brady in 2000.
Appreciate it, pal. I do appreciate that sentiment, throwing that out there for me. I have to decide between Daniel Jones and Jordan Love. How about that? Because you're right. Green Bay doesn't for him to throw two is a Herculean event. For him to throw two.
Danny Dimes all day. Danny Dimes. Go for it.
That's your call?
That's it. Over Love, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
We'll bring it up next week.
Well, one of us will. That's for sure. All right, Bill. Thanks very much. Right. Enjoy it.
Bless,
and look forward to talking to you again. All right.
Take care of yourself. Go Bills.
Right, thank you, pal. All right, Bill Reinhard. Always a good spot there. I saw here the tweet. It's absolutely right too. Somebody made a comment about Nico Collins that he's an all-pro receiver, but not with that quarterback. Not with that quarterback. He's not. It's just not going to happen. It's a shame. All right, listen, I got a trivia question here. Let me throw it out here. The winner gets a fabulous This Week in Pro Football t-shirt, not available in stores. It is a nice shirt, Xander would tell you. And the question is this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, all you got to do is be the first to answer on the chat. And the shirt will be winging its way towards you. So here we go. It's not a hard one. Don't look it up. No looking up here. My audience doesn't have to look things up. They know these. Who holds the all-time NFL record for the most consecutive passes thrown without interception? So what quarterback holds the all-time NFL record for the most consecutive passes thrown without an interception? All right. So everybody check that out. Last week's winner, Abe Abdulhamid. All right. See that? This is a multicultural program, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So answer me that question, and the T-shirt will be winging its way. We'll be right back here. Justin Mark joins us here on This Week in Pro Football.
Welcome to Park Bank, a return to better banking. With 7 locations across Philadelphia and South Jersey, we prioritize your financial well-being with a blend of modern amenities and traditional customer service. Our professional team is dedicated to providing tailored banking solutions, whether you are opening your first account, planning for retirement, or expanding your business. Our services include a wide range of personal and business banking options with competitive deposit rates and products. We are committed to making your banking experience seamless and efficient, with the latest technology at your fingertips and the personalized support you deserve. Park Bank, your community. For more information, go to parkbank.com. That's Park, P-A-R-K-E, bank.com. Member FDIC. Concrete Cutting Systems Incorporated is the concrete cutting specialist in the Philadelphia area since 1995. And they've become the specialist in the Pittsburgh area as well. These guys are celebrating 28 years as the industry leader in the field of concrete cutting and robotic demolition. So if you have a project that requires any type of concrete cutting or drilling, concrete demolition, or interior excavating, call the specialist, Concrete Cutting Systems, located at 2514 Orthodox Street in the heart of Philly. Call them at 215-533-0652. With a fleet of over 70 service trucks, Concrete Cutting Systems Incorporated is always ready to service all of your concrete cutting, drilling, and concrete demolition and highway sealing needs. These guys are the only full union concrete cutting company based in Philadelphia. So don't delay. Call the boys today at 215-533-0652. And be sure to check them out on Facebook and Instagram at CCSINC_Phila or on the web at concretecuttingsystems.net.
All right, back here this week in pro football. Thank you, everyone who took a shot at my trivia question. I don't see the correct answer yet, but I think Xander said it was out there. So I'll wait to get confirmation from the replay booth before we announce who the winner is and who the answer is. So, by the way, just so you know, I'm not making things up here. Here is the shirt, okay? Fabulous This Week in Pro Football long sleeve T-shirt, okay? Large and extra large, I'm sorry. So if you want to specify, please do when you talk to Xander so I can send the right shirt. But look forward to getting these out to everybody, all right, who takes the time to watch the show. All right, how about we bring this gentleman up here? If we might, Xander, and that would be the host of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast, along with his lovely wife. That would be Justin Mark. Justin, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right. Thanks very much. All right, Justin, it's our weekly time here to put your money up. But I want to start here with a more generic question. That is, and I don't know if you had the chance to actually look this up, but if you were to put money down right now on the Chiefs winning the AFC West, what kind of return would you be looking at?
Yeah, you got plus 250 right now. So if you're a $10 unit guy, that'll pay you 25 plus your 10 back. If you're a $100 guy, that's 250 plus your 100 back. So yeah, pretty good odds.
Not bad. Not bad. We'll have to see if at Chiefs Nation, we'll have to see how loyal it really is. Because about a month ago, that would have been probably minus 250 or something like it. But that's funny that, you I'm sure you watched that game, Justin. I mean, did you see anything in that team that says, well, this team's going to be right back here at Arrowhead in January, beating either Baltimore or Buffalo?
I mean, it's tough. It's hard to rule them out because of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Obviously, they're two of the best in the business there. But, I mean, it seems like they got a lot more problems than normal. Normally, they have maybe one thing that can get overshadowed, like we can fix that. But they can't run the ball. The receivers aren't getting a lot of separation. The defense is so-so. I know they were yapping that they held the Eagles to the lowest yardage for years. It's like, well, you still didn't win the game. So what's that matter?
That's right. That's right. I don't know if you heard at the very end of the game, an on-field microphone caught, who's the all-pro defensive lineman for
Chris Jones?
Yes. Thank you. Chris Jones yelling at the Eagles. You didn't even pass for 100 yards or something like that. And, Jalen Hurts just said to him, shut up, we won the game. And that's true. That's it.
Yep.
That's all that matters. The Chiefs just not, hey, look, that's a heavy crown to keep wearing year after year after year, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And Patrick Mahomes turns 30, I think, today. We'll see if they can bounce back against the Giants. It feels like they're probably going to get a win now. But
I think Roger Goodell inserted that game 3 into the Chiefs schedule just to be sure. But then I also, look, I'm not going to do this to you. I'm not casting too many aspersions. But again, Bears tried. They tried mightily, but they just, again, had to come up short there. And but did you see anything in their game that maybe gave you a little bit of hope?
Not at all. I think my biggest concern is, again, second half adjustments weren't there. So is Ben Johnson ready to be that head coach? That's what concerns me the most. You would think from the Dan Campbell coaching tree, who Dan Campbell, very good at second half adjustments, you would think Ben Johnson is, but I'm not seeing it. We'll see. They're favored against Dallas. I don't know if they should be favored, to be honest. They haven't proven themselves enough to me. But I guess we'll see. Maybe we can get a win, do the Eagles a favor and beat Dallas and get a win in our belt here.
Man, I noticed from my viewing anyway, it seemed like Ben Johnson not happy at all with his former head coach at the end of that game. The Lions will run it up on you. They don't care. So
and I'm okay with that. I'm a firm believer of stop them if you don't like it.
That's right. That's right. All right, talking here with Justin Mark from the Old Fashioned Football Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast. Justin, the Eagles, you made a reference to the Eagles passing game. As a prop, what's the over-under like for this week? Because the Eagles passed for 150 and 100 yards the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was trying to look that up. Unfortunately, the books are being a little playing things close to the vest with releasing their props. Usually you got a lot out there right now. So I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head if they updated that yet, but the Eagles are a team that they don't have to pass the ball a lot, right? They run it so well they don't have to, but they can if they need to. This game against the Rams, I think the Rams linebackers are not great tacklers. They've actually been graded, I guess, as some of the worst these first 2 weeks here. So if I'm the Eagles, I just continue to follow the game plan and run it down their throat, make those linebackers tackle you. And if they can't, then you're getting 8 to 10 yard gains every time.
That's true, Justin. It's always true. And why would they change? I said to Sal Paolantonio earlier in the show, the Eagles must lead the league by leaps and bounds in number of 3rd and 1. They're almost never not 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
So that means their first 2 downs, one of them is always productive enough that they could just shove their way to a first down. And why worry about the passing game? So I don't think you're going to see a lot different this coming Sunday.
I don't either, especially with the Rams being pretty good against the pass. I do see a couple books have it. Jalen Hurts at 193.5 right now. I'm not even going to touch it because I think they just need to focus on that run, and that's how they win the game.
Yeah. Do you think the Rams have a chance to cover or pull off an upset here?
I don't. I mean, if you look at the teams that these two have played, Philly played Dallas, which is Dallas the best team? No, but it is a division rival, so they bring it all. They played KC. The Rams played Tennessee and Houston. I think they've played different levels of teams. Therefore, the 2-0s are not equal. If you look at the last meeting in the playoffs here, Eagles won 28-22. They won 37-30 before that, 33-14. I think the Eagles are easily going to have their number.
Yeah. As I told you before, I'm a big Rams fan, but I'm also a realist. As Sal Paolantonio pointed out, the Eagles have won 16 games in a row that Jalen Hurts started and finished. And since he never gets touched unless he wants to, I don't see how that's going to change. All right, Justin, another NFC West game that I don't think much of, but it's 2 unbeaten teams, Arizona at San Francisco. What struck me about this game is that San Francisco is only a 1.5 point number. I thought that was very low. What are your thoughts there?
Well, if Brock Purdy doesn't play, they said today they said he's questionable. Before they said he's out 2 to 4 weeks. I never trust Kyle Shanahan when it comes to injuries. He doesn't seem to be very honest in that department. But if Brock Purdy doesn't play, I don't think they stand a chance at winning this game. I was actually surprised. This number to me indicates that they will be playing Brock Purdy. Arizona's defense has improved. Their offense seems to be picking up a little bit better than last year. And they're allowing just 70 rushing yards a game. So if they can help bottle up CMC and Brian Robinson, I think it'll be tough for the 49ers to win, especially if Mac Jones is the quarterback. I know he looked good last week, but it seems like in the NFL, college football, UFL, everything, you get a 1-game bump from that backup. And then everybody has the game tape in that system and they plan better for it.
Yeah. All right. That makes total sense. I agree with you. Hey, just looking at my chat here for a second. Excuse me, Justin. C20, take that deal. Hang up the phone right now and take the deal. Justin, I don't believe in the NFC West. So I don't see the Cardinals. I don't see the Cardinals going into San Francisco. And they could, but I don't think either team's that great. And but one of them's going to go 3-0. The other game I wanted to spend a few minutes on, though, was Detroit at Baltimore. This game intrigues me. One thing, it's 2 good teams. Detroit 1-1. Baltimore is now 2-0. Ravens started off. No, they're 1-1 too, aren't they?
Yep. They lost that first one.
Yeah, they lost the opener to Buffalo. That's a tough start for Baltimore, boy. At Buffalo and then 2 weeks later at Detroit. I'm wrong again. The game is at Baltimore. Let me try and get this question out before I'm knocked off the air. And that is that the Lions are such a home team. Jeez. What would the spread be? Right now, Baltimore is a 4.5-point pick. What would the spread have been for these exact same two teams if the game was in Detroit?
Yeah, so they say that the home field advantage swings at 3 points. I think it's closer to about 2.5. I know that's not a big difference, but it is some key numbers. So in that case, it would make Detroit a 0.5-point favorite, maybe a pick 'em. But I don't see it. I think this Ravens team is a better all-around team. I think Detroit's still kind of working out some kinks with two new coordinators, offense and defense. And I think they looked good last week against a really bad Bears team. I mean, our number one cornerback, Jalen Johnson, went down. TJ Edwards, the best tackler, he went down. I think they looked better last week than maybe they actually are.
How about that? All right. I mean, I think that may very well be true. I don't trust him as a road. I don't trust Jared Goff any place where there's not a roof.
Yeah, 100% agree. He's
he's just not the same. But the Ravens need to learn how to finish a game.
That's also
they're getting
true.
up on teams, and their defense. Yeah, their defense has always been taken for granted, but so far it's not looking that great. So we'll see. Now that's a high-powered team they're up against, but I like the home team in this one too.
Yeah, last time they played 2023, Baltimore won 38-6. Jared Goff threw 0 touchdowns and an interception.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens are going to be able to control it again, and they didn't have Derrick Henry then. So
yeah, and that game was in Baltimore. So there you go. There you go. All right, Justin, Mark, where does everybody find you in the good old-fashioned football podcast? And what strange brew are you putting up in the basement today?
Yeah, you can find me at JMark Football on Twitter. Do a bunch of articles on Sports Gambling Podcast. You can find Old Fashioned Football at Old Fashioned FB. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. And we've started, this kind of was a question somebody asked, but we've started comparing teams to whiskeys. So just as an example for that, the Chiefs, somebody you expect to be really good, they're kind of this higher priced whiskey. I compared them to Blanton's because Blanton's is this highly sought after whiskey, but when you actually open the bottle and taste it, it's just, it's good, but it's nothing standing out about it.
Right. How about that? That's excellent. Where would we find that if we wanted to?
That'll be on our YouTube shorts. Okay. So Old Fashioned Football on YouTube.
All right. Old Fashioned Football on YouTube. Okay. Look forward to that. And I always appreciate you coming on, Justin. Thanks again for joining me each and every week. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
All right. Justin, Mark joining me there. Greg Beacham is in the bullpen. We're going to make the call right now. When we get back, we'll wrap up the show by talking more about the Eagles and the Rams. And maybe Greg can sneak a couple comments in too about those LA Chargers. He covers about everything else for the Associated Press. We'll do that to wrap it up here on This Week in Pro Football.
Welcome back. We've got another exciting play underway at KennedyAuto.com.
That's right. At KennedyAuto.com, you can browse their entire inventory from home.
The customer is scrolling hundreds of Ford, Mazda, and Subaru vehicles right at his fingertips.
He made his selection and got a bottom line price set directly to his email. He could go all the way.
And the deal is good, all without leaving his couch. Incredible. KennedyAuto.com. Enjoy your ride.
Discover the essence of true community banking with First Bank, your trusted partner across Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Their network of branches brings you convenient access to dedicated personal bankers who understand your unique needs. At First Bank, you're not just a customer, you're a valued member of the community. Additionally, they are excited to announce the opening of 2 new branches in Media, Pennsylvania and Trenton, New Jersey, bringing their personalized banking services even closer to you. Connect with any member of the team today at their Westchester office, conveniently located at 849 Paoli Pike, or call them at 484-881-3800. First Bank is an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
Johnny Apple's restaurant and bar opened in 2001 and for over 20 years has been serving great food and good times to Bucks County residents, friends, and family. Ideally located at 184 Buck Road in Holland, Johnny Apple's offers a terrific array of steaks, seafood, and daily specials. They also host private parties and affairs of any size. For excellent food, great company, and a relaxed lunch or dinner, check out Johnny Apple's restaurant at 215-953-9900 or at johnnyapplesrestaurant.com.
Okay, welcome back here to wrap up week number 3 this week in pro football. I did get a trivia winner, the Sig Lord. I hope your lungs are all right with a name like that. I don't know, but the Sig Lord was, he nailed it, Aaron Rodgers. In 2018, Rodgers threw 402 straight passes without an interception. All right, not a bad job by Aaron there. That's 24 passes in every game without throwing a pick. So that Aaron Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen, I think has left the building. But the Steelers still competitive, 1-1 early going there. So congrats to the SIG. I got the size. It will be on its way. All right, let's bring this guy on. How about this? I'm happy to have this gentleman back after last year. He is the beat writer for covering the Rams, as well as the Lakers, USC, the Kings, and the Ducks for Associated Press. And that would be Greg Beacham. Good evening, Greg.
Hi, Pat. Thanks for having me back on. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Great to have you back. Thank you very much. The Rams traveling east. And what I'd like to do, Greg, with you is hit you with a few of Sal Pao's comments and see from the other coast perspective whether the comments resonate as correct. And the first is the travel. The Rams travel, open at home, then fly maybe, 2,000 miles to Tennessee, back home, and then 3,000 miles. How big a drag is that, even if it's this early in the season?
I think it adds up. They have a lot of trips back east in the first half of the season. I think it helps that it's September and they haven't done a lot of it yet. But I will say, anytime you have a 37-year-old quarterback with a bad back, every flight is an adventure. And so far, everything's gone well for Matthew Stafford. He says he's feeling great. So it's not ideal. I do know that Sean McVay likes to play a 10 a.m. game on the East Coast. He thinks it's really good to get up, get some caffeine in the guys, and get some sun on their face and go play, as he says it. So I think they welcome the challenge. I also think it's going to add up. It's going to be a little bit tougher when they go to London next month. Those things start to add up. Certainly true.
Sean McVay apparently tore his plantar fascia walking on the sidelines last week against Tennessee. Is that correct?
He was running to call a timeout in Tennessee, and we just talked to him about it. He said he's just too athletic. That was the problem. He has the fast twitch still. It got him. It just snapped his plantar fascia, and it's true. God. He did snap it, but that's actually better because if you partially tear it, then they have to go in and do surgery and tear it entirely so it will heal properly. So He's fine. He's not going to need surgery. He didn't say he's going to need a walking boot, so I think he'll be okay. He was moving around pretty well today, so I think it's okay. It's okay if you're not an elite high-level athlete. So.
Yeah. The other comment that Sal made that I wanted to run by you was I asked him, offered the opinion that the tandem of Puka Nacua and Davante Adams is an upgrade from Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. No way disparaging Cooper Kupp, who's had a borderline Hall of Fame career, but he's not the same Cooper Kupp. Sal didn't agree. What are your thoughts on that? Did the Rams, in fact, step up by doing what they did?
Yeah, I'm on your side, Pat. I think as Matthew Stafford just told us a few minutes ago when he was asked about this, and I quote, "It's nice being me." It's a good combo to have, and the fact that Cooper Kupp had a great career here, set records, is a Super Bowl MVP, will never be taken away. He'll be a Rams legend for life. Doesn't discount the fact that Davante Adams is one of the best handful of receivers of his generation. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, he's been a healthy receiver. He's a guy who knows how to avoid injury in a way that Cooper Kupp sometimes didn't, the way that Puka Nacua still doesn't, but he's trying to learn from Davante Adams. And that longevity is almost as important as productivity in the long run. So, it's a promising start for this new duo. So I'm on your side on that debate.
All right. Talking with Greg Beacham here from the Associated Press, who covers the Rams for the AP. The Rams, Greg, have not quite figured out how to stop Saquon Barkley yet. Okay. In 2 games, they've given up a measly nearly 500 yards rushing to Saquon. And now they come east again to face the same guy with another new passel of linebackers and safeties, because the Rams don't invest money in that part of their defense. The old saying about insanity, the definition of insanity. What are the Rams allegedly going to do Sunday to try and curb this guy?
If they have a new idea, they're not saying, and we wouldn't get it out of them at the point of a gun. So, it's hard to argue that the Eagles should try to do anything but run the ball down the Rams' throat after the way that the two games went last season. I don't think there's a way to stop Saquon that the Rams can emulate given their roster, like you said, particularly on the back seven. But they are going to try to body him up, load the box when they can, see how it goes. It probably helps that the Eagles' offense is becoming known for telegraphing play tendencies, being very likely to run when Jalen Hurts is under center or in the pistol. That could help a defense. They don't do much play action, the Eagles. So at least they'll know, have an idea, or they'll think they'll have an idea of what's coming, and they can plan that way accordingly. And the thing to remember is that personnel wise, this is basically the same Rams defense that got shredded last season. There's a couple changes, but there's the same coordinator, Chris Shula. 8 of the 11 defensive starters in the playoff game against the Eagles are back on the roster. Only 2 new guys that are doing a lot of contributing that weren't there last year. Poona Ford is at nose tackle for Bobby Brown. Nate Landman is at middle linebacker for Christian Rosen. Otherwise, it's the same group, So, like you said, it's there's an element of insanity to it, but there's also an element of maybe being better prepared, and the changes in the Eagles' offense is, perhaps making them a little bit easier to defend. I don't know. I wouldn't think that's the way to bet, but they got to try something.
Yeah, because I opined with Sal earlier in the show that I think the Rams view the Eagles as the measuring stick. This is the team they think they have to get by in order to get to the bowl, and it's alarming. And from the standpoint you and I are discussing right now, that they didn't really do a hell of a lot about it. I mean, Poona Ford he's good. He's a very good nose tackle, and he's a space eater, and that's really good. But Landman's going to dine out all year on the punch fumble that he forced against Houston. But I think defensively, I think the Eagles are going to score. I think they're going to score some points. So then let's go to the offensive side. Now the Rams have the ball. What do you think, if anything, Greg, the Eagles might try to do different to curtail the wide receiver duo the Rams have out there?
I think it's going to be a nice test for the 2 young cornerbacks. It's an interesting. We're talking about this as a measuring stick for the Rams, as a test. I mean, this is a big challenge for Quinyon Mitchell and for Cooper DeJean and even USC's own Adoree Jackson. It's a difficult offense to slow down. They've played 2 games where they've done a lot of what they wanted to do on offense for the most part, even though the running game hasn't gotten going in the way they probably want to. Kyron Williams has 66 yards rushing in each of the first 2 games. But when you have a quarterback who's comfortable in the pocket and is getting the ball to 2 receivers who are as open as much as those guys are, there's a potential to put up a lot of points every week. It seems like it's really incumbent on not necessarily the Eagles secondary, but on their pass rush to really make Matthew Stafford uncomfortable in the pocket, to make a real concerted effort, whether it's blitzing, whether it's Vic Fangio going deep into his bag of tricks, to get this Rams offensive line, which is solid, but nobody would say this is an offensive line stacked with Pro Bowlers. Right. You can push, and you can turn up the heat and the pressure and see what you can do that way. That seems like the best way to get to the Rams at this point, not to try to slow down those 2 elite receivers, but to try to get the guy throwing the ball to struggle.
I haven't seen much of the Rams, their 2nd round pick, the tight end Ferguson. Are the Rams a little disappointed? Huh?
Neither have we.
Yeah. What's going on there? Is he not hitting the ground running, or are they bringing him along slowly?
Yeah, just a combo of things. Like they're bringing him along slowly. Tyler Higbee is healthy, and they want to use him as much as they can. Davis Allen has emerged, a guy who didn't contribute a lot in the first part of his Rams career, has a touchdown in each of the first 2 games. So he's emerged as a dependable guy that they can count on to run routes. I do believe as the season goes on, the Rams will use more 2 tight end stuff to greater effect and more versatility. They're already working with it a little bit, but I think he'll get on the field more and more as we go on. He made a big play on special teams last week, so that's always that's one of the best ways to get on Sean McVay's good side is to come through and contribute on special teams. So it's only week 2, and he could play a role in week 3. It looks like he probably will. So we'll see.
Greg Beacham, the NFC West is a combined 7-1. That is a mirage to me. I don't see it. the Rams have beaten 2 AFC South teams and Arizona 2 NFC South teams. So not a murderer's row there. Do you think this division will find its proper level in the next month or so?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's 7 wins, but 2 are against New Orleans, one's against Carolina, one's against Tennessee, and one was a division game. So somebody had to win.
Yeah, right.
It's basically Houston and Pittsburgh are the 2 standout wins by NFC West teams so far. You can only play who's in front of you, but they've started out well. But there's big questions on all 4 of these teams. Yeah, I don't think this is the elite division that it's looking like early.
No.
Niners have a strong core, a lot of personnel losses. Arizona beat 2 of the worst teams in the NFL, so you don't really know anything yet. Seahawks lost a bunch of players. They got a new quarterback to integrate. Rams look good, but they've started better than they have in previous seasons, so that's promising. But give it a month or two. See where this shakes out.
Well, the Rams have the advantage as a quarterback over the rest of that division. I mean, he is one of the best if he can stay healthy. There's always an if, but there you go. All right, Greg. Listen, let's you and I test our definitions of insanity here. I mean, you see any chance that, and I think the Rams have been pointing to this game, any chance they come out of here with an upset?
I do think there's a chance. Yeah, I think the Eagles, nobody goes 17-0. It's really tough to do. The Eagles have had 2 big tests and they've come through 2 emotional games. Now they're back home. This game will not loom as big as opening night against Dallas, or it's not as big as that to them. And like I said, I feel like this game comes down to the Rams' offensive line against the Eagles' pass rush. And if the Rams have a successful time keeping Matthew Stafford comfortable in the pocket, they could do a lot of damage and throw the ball downfield and score a lot of points. So I think it's a possibility. I wouldn't bet against the defending Super Bowl champions, but I think it's definitely a possibility.
Fair enough. Greg Beacham, I appreciate you taking all this time, pal. Thanks very much for all the information, and I wish you nothing but the best out there. And as the season rolls along, I'd love to entice you back if because the Rams will end up, even though I think they got screwed by the NFL in terms of night games. And why this one isn't a night game, I have no idea. But
yeah, we were wondering.
It's better for the Rams, actually. It's supposed to be in the mid-70s here Sunday.
Oh,
so
beautiful. California weather. Love it.
That's right. But thanks very much for joining me, Greg. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you real soon. All right.
Thank you, Pat. Talk to you soon.
All right, Greg Beacham joining me there. Thank you very much to Greg for joining me. Xander, if real quick you can bring up the Week 3 schedule here. We'll close it out with a look at the games for Sunday and Monday. Thursday night, Buffalo just crushes Miami. It's ridiculous. Green Bay, Cleveland will be a competitive game. Cleveland's a good defensive team, and the Packers will play down to that level. That's going to be a 17-13 type game. Bengals, Vikings. Oh, God. I don't know. We talked at length about the Rams and the Eagles. Disappointing Broncos team now. They're at the Chargers. This is a big game. A big early game here in the AFC West. If LA can win that game, they'll sit at 3-0, and they will clearly have established the marker in the AFC West. Dallas, Chicago, for God's sake. That's the Fox's America's Game of the Week. Can you believe it? There you go. NFC South tilt there. Atlanta should beat Carolina. Houston, I don't like Houston. I think it's about time somebody else won that division. Looks like it could be the Colts. Pittsburgh and New England, even matchup there. Jets may not even have Justin Fields. I don't know if that's a big difference or not. Tampa should win that one easy. The Raiders at Washington. I think Washington can win that game even without Jaden Daniels. Seattle should hold serve there against New Orleans. Talked about Arizona, San Francisco. Niners fan. I don't know. I just don't like the 49ers. I just think they're an overrated organization. Sure doesn't hurt to have Joe Montana and Steve Young over a 12 or 15 year period. And they haven't won a bowl since. So, but it'll be a competitive game. Arizona has to put a marker down sooner or later. Then the Monday night game, talked about the Lions and the Ravens. I think the Ravens will win that game because I just don't think the Lions travel well. That'll do it for a Week 3 edition of This Week in Pro Football. Thanks to everybody who joined me this week. And thanks very much again to all of you who took the time to view the show and to join the chat. Sig, the shirt will be on its way. And I look forward to talking to everybody again next week as we roll out Week 4 in the league where they play for pay, the National Football League. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week. Good night.
Gibbons & Perkins PC is a multi-practice law firm with offices in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. The firm has expanded from its founding in 2001 into a vibrant and growing law firm dedicated to serving an ever-expanding and sophisticated client base. They represent clients in matters pertaining to business transactions, real estate planning and succession planning, estate administration, tax problem resolution, emerging businesses, litigation, and legal malpractice. Call the firm at 610-565-1708. That's 610-565-1708.